When I was acting and auditioning a lot, you slate your name, hi, I'm Kimhill, and I was like, in profile, they'd be like, whoa, like, what's that? You know, because it's not a typical profile for a black face. I was told I should shave my nose. What kind of nose is that? What are you? And I was like, I would never touch my nose. Nobody's this, you know? My first knowledge of COVID, I was with family for the Christmas holiday. So this would have been December of 2019. There's this virus that's gone crazy in China. At the time, you know, Cassius was still in school in the West Village, and I still was holding on to this whole like, I'm a single mom, I have this business, I go into the city every day, I commute. And I was like, it's not that far away. When you think about how many people live in New York, I kept Cassius home from school because we had 1 week before a 2-week spring break. And I really think that that's what saved us a lot of heartache. My grandmother was born during the Spanish flu. So I think about what my great-grandmother was doing because she was second to youngest. So she was mothering 5 other children. I'm gonna listen to her because she's been there in the trenches when it's been really, really ugly. But when you say resources are limited and I gotta make sure like I live and my kid is living, I was not going to sit and wait. And so then it was like, everybody's in the lines at Whole Foods. Yeah, I was in line at Whole Foods. And then I also was like, I saw this white man in Australia who I just love so much, I can't remember his name. He's a homesteader. And he's like, you wanna know what you can do if you're worried about eating? Get some chickens. They're cheap, and you don't kill a chicken and get 1 meal. You keep a chicken and you have eggs for life. And I was like, Cassius, we're getting chickens. I still had my store at the time in Brooklyn, Radical Women. And then COVID hit, and I was like, you know, dream derailed. Once I kind of came to terms with what was really happening, I was like, okay, well, now I need to like pay this mortgage. And even the money I was making at the store and had other projects that were pending, everything was in limbo. So I pulled out this fabric, I created a little pattern, and people in the neighborhood were like, oh, sis, that's dope, what you got on your face? So the next day I put them on my website. We walked up the street to play basketball, and within an hour I'd made like $1,400. But that is how I shifted the business. Through conflict comes creativity. The masks literally came and like saved my life. My style in COVID has been really interesting. I still pull out my drag. I am Liberace's, if he ever had a child with Grace Jones, it would be me. This is kind of morbid, but I'm like, if you ever need to identify my body and I don't have on the Cassius ring, then it's not me. Because it always reminds me like, what the real focus is. This is my clutching my pearls because you are clutching your pearls when you hold it, but I love it. This is everywhere for me. Oh, and this is my turban. I make these turbans and there's always something on my head when I just need to throw and go. And the headdress is, there's a woman who's a collector, and when she sees me coming, she pulls out these pieces that me and a few other people are like crazy enough to buy. So I cut my hair. My 36-year-old niece just got diagnosed with stage 3 triple negative breast cancer. She's a mother of 3, like her youngest is 2. And so I get this nudge and it's like, you have to shave your head. And I was like, I was by myself in the bathroom and I was like, but I'm thinning on top and everybody knows me for my top knot. And I've got baby hair and like, I'm able to hide the stuff that's happening up here. And then it was like, the Holy Spirit was like, but women that are going through this don't have the luxury of hiding. I am a woman of obedience. When I'm led, when I get that nudge, I have to do it. I actually feel more confident. I'm like, you don't have time to be worried about this silly shit. You got fucking eggs to get, you got science homework, and worrying about all that brought me a lot of anxiety. And now it's like, this is a special piece because Cassius he's an extraordinary drummer. And we did a show and he played the drums and I sang in this jumpsuit. And he annihilated it. I love the power of yes, and I think yes is so powerful, but I think no is equally as powerful. I love music, and music has been good to me. It's what the music industry has done. My younger self was like borderline obsessed with getting a record deal. And when I met my old band, which is the Black Eyed Peas, we were young and hungry. And at that time, there was one way to get to the people, and that was through a label. You knew that there were some sacrifices that you'd have to make, but what you don't realize is that like the sacrifice of the spirit. That guy sits at a table and tells me to slide down a car naked with some Crisco on my ass. That's the guy that is gonna tell me that I shouldn't be okay with this. I don't get offended when they're not respectful to me. I just get to walk out of the room. When it's out there that you're difficult as a black woman, it's like career suicide. I know what happened when I was like, you want me to do what? It was like, hey, yeah, that kimhill, she's difficult. It's like a key word, and you're black and you're young and you're attractive. It's like, you need to shut up and be grateful you're a size 4, and we're gonna let you sing this hook. So then you go home, or you spend time with your family, and Humpty Dumpty gets put back together again. And I was like, I'm not gonna keep doing that to myself. Let me tell you something, and I say this with full compassion and very carefully, because people of like 2020 is the worst, and it has been devastating. However, this awakening has been like what I've been praying for. It's such an opportunity to really awaken to true empathy and compassion. I think it's important to know that as history repeats itself in these cycles, this is a cycle, and there's something that we haven't been getting right. Just gotta just be still and be like, what do I need to work on? What do I need to look at? It is a death, and it is like a beautiful death, because there's just some shit that just didn't need to keep on thriving. It's fascinating to see who's been humbled and who is still determined to be like, this is in my control. And it's like, but it's not. Even for those, I have friends that are atheists and agnostic, and even now they're like, maybe there is something to this.
I'm Lily.
And I'm Elisa.
And we're the mother-daughter co-founders of StyleLikeU. If you agree that facades separate us and being radically honest brings us together, help spread the movement for self-acceptance by sharing this episode and subscribing to our YouTube channel.
And don't forget to click the bell so you're aware of every time we drop a new episode.